This video is about writing the equation of a line in point slope form given 2 points and writing the equation of a line in slope intercept given 2 points. So remember for point slope form that we need a point and the slope. So what happens when we're given 2 points? Well, first we have to find the slope of the 2 points. Remember y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we're going to use 1 point and the slope you determined. It doesn't matter which point you pick when you're writing your equation. So in number 1, we're given 2 points and we need to find the equation of the line in point slope form. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the slope of my 2 points. So remember I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this reduces to 6 over 3, which reduces to 2. Now, I have 2 as my slope, and I'm going to pick one of the 2 points. So this time I'm just going to pick the first coordinate. It doesn't matter which one you pick, though. So I'm going to have y minus y1, which is 4, equals my slope times x minus the x coordinate, and they're both negative signs because the x and y coordinates were positive. So number 2, we need to find our slope again. So I have x1, y1, x2, and y2. So I have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So remember, 2 negatives really make a positive. So I have negative 6 over positive 2, which reduces to negative 3. So now I'm going to use my slope in a point. So to show that it doesn't matter this time, we're going to use the second point. So I would have y minus the y coordinate. Well, because it's already a minus, it turns into a positive, equals my slope times x minus the x coordinate. But because the x coordinate is already minus, it becomes a positive. So slope-intercept form, remember when we use slope-intercept form, we need to know the y-intercept and the slope. So what happens when we have 2 points? Well, first we're going to find the slope, and then we're going to use one of the points and the slope we determined, and we're going to write it in point slope form to start, and then we're going to distribute the slope and move over the y coordinate. So given 2 points, put the equation in slope-intercept form. So first I'm going to find my point, my slope. So I have x1, y1, x2, and y2. So I have 10 minus 7 over negative 2 minus 1, which reduces to 3 over negative 3, which reduces to negative 1. Now, it does not matter which points you use. So I'm just going to use the first one this time. And I need to start writing in point slope form. So I have y minus 7 equals negative 1, my slope, and then x minus 1. Notice that they're both minus signs because my coordinates were positive. So in order to get into slope-intercept form, the first thing I'm going to do is distribute my slope. So y minus 7 equals negative 1x plus 1. And then I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So y equals negative 1x plus 8. Remember that you don't need to have the negative 1 there, so you could just write it as negative x plus 8. Number 4, I need to find my slope first. So when I find my slope, I have 1 minus negative 5 over 1 minus negative 3. So 2 negatives make a plus, so we have 6 over 4, which reduces to 3 over 2. So now that I have the slope of 3 over 2, I'm going to pick one of my points to use. So I'm going to use the point on the left again. And when I write my equation in point slope form, I have y plus 5 equals 3 over 2 x plus 3. So now to distribute, I'm going to distribute this coordinate, this slope. So when I distribute the slope of 3 over 2, I get y plus 5 equals 3 over 2x plus 9 over 2. So because I have a fraction, I can change 5 to be 10 over 2, because remember 5 is equal to 10 halves. So then I'm going to subtract 10 halves from both sides. And I get y equals 3 over 2x minus 1/2. So number 5, write the equation in point slope form for the line. So in number 5, the first thing I need to do is I need to find the slope and pick one of my points. So I'm going to pick the point that's on the left. Remember, it doesn't matter which point you pick, but I always usually just pick the one on the left. So my point is negative 2, 2. My slope, to get from one point to the other, I went up 2 and over 3, so my slope would be 2/3. So to write my equation then, my equation in point slope form would be y minus 2 equals 2/3 x plus 2. So remember, when you write your equation, it gets the opposite sign. In number 6, we need to pick a point. So this time, let's pick the point on the right. That point is 1, 3. And when I look at my slope, notice that my line is going down, so I should have a negative slope this time. So I went down negative 4 over 2. Negative 4 over 2 reduces to negative 2. So my equation here would be y minus 3 equals my slope negative 2 times x minus 1. Jackson is a baseball card collector. After 3 months of collecting cards, he has 37 cards. After 7 months of collecting, he has 53 cards. So what is the independent variable? So the independent variable, remember, anytime we have a time unit, will be our independent variable. So months is our independent variable. Our dependent variable then is what he's collecting, so the cards. Write 2 ordered pairs that represent this information. Find the rate of change. So we have 1 ordered pair of 3 months is 37 cards. And 7 months is 53 cards. So we're going to find our slope, 53 minus 37 over 7 minus 3. So when I subtract, I have 53 minus 37. So I get 16. 7 minus 3 is 4, which reduces to 4 cards per month. So when we're going to write our equation in point slope form, we're going to use our slope of 4 and pick one point. So I'm going to use the point 337. I'm going to write it in point slope form. So y minus 37 equals 4 times x minus 3. So then we're going to move this into our equation of slope-intercept form. So the first thing we want to do is we want to distribute that 4. So we get y minus 37 equals 4x minus 12. And then we're going to add 37 to both sides. And we get y equals 4x plus 25. So now we can use this equation to represent or to understand what it means. So y equals 4x plus 25. What is the y-intercept? So the y-intercept is where we're going to start our graph, 0, 25. And what does it mean? At 0 weeks, he starts with 25 cards. What is the slope? So the slope is 4. And what does that mean? That means he collects 4 cards each week. After 7 months of collecting, how many cards does Jackson have? So remember that we can plug 7 in for x. So if we substitute 7 in for x, we have 4 times 7 plus 25, which is 28 plus 25. 28 plus 25 gets us 53 cards. If Jackson has 77 cards, how many months has he been collecting for? So now we can set 77 equal to our equation 4x plus 25, and we can solve for the number of months. So we're going to subtract 25 from both sides, so 52 equals 4x. And when we divide by 4, we get x is 13. So after 13 months, he will have 77 cards.